everyone, it's Allison and welcome back. So today I want to make this video for the 2024 Asexual Awareness Week. So the Awareness Week for this year is October 20th to October 26th, and it's October 25th, and I wanted to make this earlier, but I've been a bit behind, so yeah. So in previous years, I've talked about myself a lot and how I identify as asexual because I do not want to do anything sexual. Like, it's not me, and I don't want to do it, and I can't do it. Like, I feel so out of place in this world because it's like, it's so normal, like, you're supposed to do it, but I can't do it. And I've said before that I'm really worried that no one will ever want to be with me if I don't want to do those things with them. And I've talked about this before because I still want a boyfriend, I still want to be in a relationship, and I want to be loved, but I don't want to do those things, and that's why it's worrying to me. So that's why this year I wanted to share a bit of a personal story that just happened about a month ago. I'll try not to go into too much details because I don't want to get in trouble or start anything, but I just wanted to tell this story. So, as you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, I haven't had the best luck in relationships, been around some horrible people, been with horrible people, been hurt, and then my last relationship, which I really loved, it fell apart and I got ghosted, and ever since I've still been really hurt, and it's been hard for me to trust anyone and want to move on and find anyone because I'm just so scared of getting hurt again. And if you watched my video from almost a month ago, my LPS 10 Things I Hate About Being a Girl, you'll notice in that video I mentioned the word asexual about 53 times, and there's a reason for that, because that video was a little bit of me letting off some steam about a few things. So if you guys watched my last few since my return videos, I think I mentioned it in the 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, and then in the 1 year, I think. When I was talking about updates in my life, I was telling you about this guy that I met on Facebook dating, and he seemed very sweet and very normal. So I met him in early June, and we started talking and calling a lot, and he was really nice to me. Of course, I was still very nervous about trying to get in a relationship after what's happened to me, but I was trying to overcome the anxiety and go through with it, and it didn't really work out. So he was so nice to me, but I felt that he was just so much better than me. I didn't even know what to say half the time. I'd just be like, and he would ask me questions, and I would just be like, I don't know. And he said really nice things to me, which I appreciated because he seemed so sweet. And even my friends thought, wow, maybe he's actually a good guy. And I thought so too. So then near the end of July, I met him in person. We went into town, and we walked around, and we hung out, and he bought me flowers and put his arm around me, and we sat in his truck talking, and God, he was just so sweet. And then he met my mom, and my mom talked to him a lot, and he talked to her a lot, and everything just seemed really good, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this will actually work out. Then we kept trying to arrange a time to meet again, but it was kind of complicated, and it didn't really work out a lot. But about a month later, like mid-August, we went on this trip to Bridgewater, which is where he is. It's like an hour and something away from us, and since we were there, I was going to meet him, and basically he drove me around town, and it was really, really nice. So my intentions were to get with him, and we weren't officially together. But one night he did ask me out over text, and I told him that I wanted to maybe discuss it and do it in person, and he said, yeah, okay. So that was our plan, and my intention was to hopefully have us get together whenever we met up, and I would finally tell him about my LPS channel because I never told him because I was so scared he would judge me, and I was like, I'll tell him and then we'll know if he's good or not. So then like all of September we kept trying to find time to get together, but I couldn't because we were busy, and then my family was sick and I was scared of getting sick, and then we went to the campground, we kept trying to make it work, but we couldn't find a day. And then like a month ago, he texted me one night telling me something. So he texted me and he told me that he is a very sexually positive person. And I was immediately like, crap. So I freaked out and basically had a panic attack, and I told him that I was asexual and I didn't want to do those things, and I apologized several times, and I told him that if he wanted to leave me and find someone else that was more into doing those things with him, then I would completely understand and I would still be his friend. But he told me, no, like, don't leave. And he told me that it was totally fine and that if I didn't want to do it, he would be perfectly okay with that. So he calmed me down, and I was really worried, but he reassured me and said that it was totally fine if I didn't want to do those things. And that was the end of it, or so I thought. So then, for the next few days, he was being kind of distant with me, like not texting as often, and I didn't mind, because he actually works, and I'm just at home filming videos and sitting on my butt all day, because, I don't have school or work right now. Hopefully I have school in January, but, right now I'm not doing anything. So I was like, oh, he's probably just busy, but, he just didn't really talk too much, and I was like, okay. Then, a few days later, was the night that everything came crashing down. Again, I won't go too into detail, but let me tell you that night he borderline sexually harassed me. And he was just saying the weirdest stuff, and I told him no, like, every time. He kept asking me, like, oh, like, what if we just did this, or, like, what about this, or we have to at least try this, and I kept saying, like, no, and he was like, we gotta at least try it. I know you don't want to, but we have to try it. Now, I know that some asexual people will do sexual things because, like, they don't feel sexual attraction, and, like, they don't mind doing sexual things. Like, they're not repulsed by it, but, like, they don't mind doing it, so they'll do it. And then I know that some other people, even if they don't like it, they'll do it to make their partner happy. And I would want to do anything to make my partner happy, but when it comes to this, I just can't do it, guys. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it would literally trigger my fight or flight. Like, I don't have, like, trauma or anything behind it. I just can't do it. So I told him, like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to be good enough for you. Anyway, so he kept asking me for all these sexual things, and I said no. I told him no so many times, and I was so uncomfortable. And then he started asking me for, like, all these inappropriate pictures, and he was like, oh, like, I'm horny, so we have to. And I was like, ew, no. Like, he kept asking for all these gross pictures, and I was so uncomfortable, and he was asking me to do weird things, and I kept saying no, and he was like, oh, just do this right now, and I was like, no. I don't even want to say it because, I already got a strike on my channel, or a warning for a strike, and I don't want to get any more. So, I'll just leave you with that information to think about. But I kept telling him no, but he kept begging me and saying, like, please, and I just kept telling him, like, I'm sorry, I can't. He was like, oh, what about, like, come on. And I just kept saying, no, like, I can't, you don't understand, like, I can't. And I was so anxious and uncomfortable. Like, I was just trying to edit a video and go to bed, and then he started this. And it went on for hours, and he kept begging me. And I kept saying no, and it was just so bad. So I finally realized, like, this is all that guys want. Guys don't accept you if you don't want to do that kind of thing with them, and it really upset me. Let me remind you guys that we're not even officially together. So first of all, I don't know why he'd be asking me about this stuff when we're not even together. But anyway, he kept going on, and then he started talking to me about being his wife and having kids, and I was like, I barely know you. And I do think that one day I would like to get married. If I find someone that I love, I would love to be married. But I don't ever want to, like, have kids, at least not of my own, because, like I said before, I think periods are hell enough. You're crazy if you think I want to go through pregnancy. Like, I don't want to do that, and then obviously I don't want to do the sex part to have kids. So if I ever did, I would maybe want to, like, adopt or foster kids, because, I do love kids. I film with toys, and I like taking care of my little sisters and little cousins, and if I end up doing this job in psychology that I want to do, I want to maybe do something, like, with children, like, playing with children, like, play therapy, because, I'm pretty good at playing, and, like, that's what I want to do, but I don't want to go through having, like, kids of my own. But he clearly really wanted that, and I kept explaining to him, like, I don't think I can do that. I know it's probably my fault because I wasn't being super direct when I said no, but I didn't want to repeat myself a million times after I already said no. Anyway, he kept being creepy and weird, and then he started saying about how he fantasizes about me all the time. He was like, yeah, I fantasize about, like, us in the future with our kids, and then about sex, and I was like, it's just great. And listen, I understand that I'm not the normal in this situation. I understand to everyone else this is normal, but being asexual, it's not right for me, and it's made me so uncomfortable. Anyway, so it went on until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then he was finally like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now, and then went to bed like nothing ever happened and left me crying and panicking all night. So I then felt like I was in too deep because I'm like, I need to get out of this, but I can't leave him now. Like, we've already met in person. He has me on everything. He talked to my mom. Like, I can't leave now. And I didn't know what to do. So I talked to some people, a lot of my friends, and they were so supportive and kind to me, so thank you. And I realized that he's not a good person. So the next day he was like, hey, I'm sorry about last night, but I'm like, because even though I liked him and I wanted us to be together, he's made it clear that he's not okay with me being asexual, so it couldn't work out. So then I was like, what do I do? Because I felt guilty ghosting him because, you know, that's what happened in my last relationship with the boyfriend I loved. He just ghosted me, and the pain was so bad, like what happened, and I wouldn't want to put anyone else through that. Although, of course, that's a little different because, you know, me and him were officially together, and he ghosted me because he was told all those lies about me, and he didn't even try and, like, look into it. He just was like, okay, bye. And, you know, this guy's a little different because, you know, we're not officially together, and it's clear that he's doing bad stuff, and I know that. Anyway, so we didn't talk for a few days, and I was in a really bad mood, and then I finally texted him and said, like, I'm sorry, but, like, I need some time away to think about what I want and all that. And he was like, yes, I understand. And then ever since, he's been trying to send me a few messages, and I've just been ignoring him. He's like, I'm sorry for everything. He sent me, like, Instagram messages and Snapchats, but I just can't bring myself to open them, and I feel like a really bad person, but, like, he really kept going too far, and he wouldn't respect me, and it made me uncomfortable, so I feel like a bad person for walking away, but I couldn't deal with that. Yeah, that's the story that brings us to this Asexual Awareness Week, and showing that asexual people, it's hard, and you don't always know what they're going through, and it really added on to my fears of how no guy will want me if I won't do that with him, and that hurts. It really does hurt, and it's worrying for me because it seems that, like, everyone watches it. They watch inappropriate stuff, they watch porn, they do all this stuff, and then I'm just over here not feeling good in my body at all, and it's hard to understand. Yeah, so basically now I'm lonely again, and just stuck feeling that I know no one is ever going to want me, and I'll probably never be loved, and I'm probably going to be alone for the rest of my life, no matter how much that hurts. But the lesson is definitely, if someone says they're asexual or has boundaries, please, please, please respect them. Because it's nothing against you personally, it's just we have these feelings and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, being asexual is on the spectrum, but it's hard for some people to understand. I think that's why it's good that we have the awareness to know, like, there are real stories and real things that go on, and you know, people have different feelings and different wants and needs in a relationship, and that's okay, but don't harass someone who's clearly uncomfortable, and just try and be respectful, because, you know, not everyone, even some non-asexual people aren't ready for that kind of thing. So, you know, it's not right that he did that, and, you know, if he wants to be a hoe, then fine, and, you know, maybe I deserve it, and maybe that's why I'm such a weirdo, but it's hard to understand, but yeah. Anyway, so for this Asexual Awareness Week, I just wanted to tell that story and say that it's hard to understand, but there is a good community of people who will understand you and just support each other, because it can be hard to understand and hard to feel like no one will want you, but if you know yourself and know what you believe in and know what you want, like, you know your sexuality and you know that this is what you need in a relationship, then stand by that and do not let anyone try and pressure you to do anything that you're not comfortable with. So yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment if you can, and we'll see you later. Bye.